I first met Nick Hayes about a year ago now when I first started my media journey, and sitting down with Nick in his office was a really warm, welcoming experience, and to be honest, it felt like I'd known Nick forever. The two of us chatted for a really long time, and one of the things that struck me so quickly about Nick was that he was a salesperson like me, and when I say that, I actually mean it as an absolute compliment. I view sales as really all about getting to know people and kind of really getting to the heart and the best of who that person is. And Nick is one of the most skilled people that I have met at this, and I got a very, very strong sense from our first meeting that Nick really understood who I was, which I definitely believe is the case, but it's also a skill of a really good salesperson, because it means they have asked the right questions, extracted the right information out of you to really understand who you are, what's important to you, what makes you unique and special, and then they can basically optimize your potential, which is certainly what Nick Hayes did for me, and the rest of his wonderful team at Media Stable, I should add. Nick and the team really changed my whole life a year ago, and I think many of you watching this would know just how much it's done for me and for my business. It's really set me on a journey that I didn't really think was possible. So Nick, I really look up to, I guess, as somebody that develops such incredible relationships in his business community, which is obviously really instrumental to his business, but you can tell he just does it because he loves it, and that's something that I really enjoy being around. The last thing I want to say about Nick is that because he is so passionate about what he does and he really believes in the people that he works with, he is even more of a compelling salesperson. And that's the reminder for me, I guess, and I hope for all of you watching this, that if you are really passionate about what you do, it isn't sales. It's just about communicating what you do with passion and with energy and with honesty, and just bringing your best self to the table every day. And Nick Hayes is genuinely one of my favourite people. We had a ball making this interview, which I think you'll see. So I hope you guys enjoy watching it just as we did making it. All right, Nick Hayes. I always think of you by your full name. I don't know why.
Oh, it must be something about my full name.
It must be. It must be.
How does it work? Nick Hayes.
Yeah, I like it.
But you're Lani Hill.
Hey, I'm asking the questions here, buddy.
Okay, sorry.
All right, so Nick Hayes. When we first met, one of the things that I liked the most about you was your innate sales skill. Now, is that something that you see about yourself or not?
It's really funny, Lana, because I've spent almost 20 years in sales.
Yeah.
And I have probably spent 17 of those denying that I've been in sales, because it's just, I always got told very early on, you should be in sales. This is, you're a natural conversationalist. You love to do this, and also you make people feel at ease and all that good stuff. And I go, yeah, but there's no money in it. And then they went, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I just remember, getting into it, but I spent so long denying I was in sales. I was more of a consultant, someone who was there to help work it. But the real thing is, I am a salesman.
Yeah.
And I love it. Absolutely love it. But I didn't realise it was innate. I thought it was more, look, I've got a goal, but I also have probably other people's goals in mind before my own.
Okay.
And that's probably the difference.
Okay, cool. So tell me, you said earlier there that you know how to make people feel comfortable. You're a good conversationalist. I mean, what other personal skills do you think you've perhaps always had that have made you good at what you do?
Incredibly charming.
Let's face it.
Good looking. No, look, it's
Let's be real, right here.
Great head for TV. No, look, I think it's more. Look, I just enjoy meeting people.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You can be stuck behind a desk and you can be behind the scenes and do all sorts of things. But unless you're actually really meeting people and actually getting a sense of, oh, I could do some work here, or these people I can really help.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more to it. But genuinely, I really like to go out and go, what can we do with you? Where can we mould you? Where can we take you?
Yeah, cool.
That's the exciting thing.
Yeah, I agree, and that's one of my favourite things about sales is you're trained to look for the gold. You're trained to look for that unique thing, and that's obviously such a big part of what you do.
And the thing is, if you're actually passionate and you believe in what you're doing, and like you really honestly believe that this is actually going to make a difference,
yeah,
it just makes a world of difference to do it, because you're not actually selling.
Yeah.
You actually are just consulting and letting them know, here's an opportunity. It's up to you now whether you take it or don't.
Yeah.
But I really don't hold any grudges with anyone that does or doesn't, or I should say doesn't go with me.
Yeah.
It's more about, look, I've at least presented the best opportunity for you. And I
Yeah.
think one of the greatest things that I would say to anyone is that, and to any person that's in sales, that the greatest regret I would have is if they didn't know the opportunity was there. That to me would be the worst thing, because otherwise, what's the point of it all? I mean, we really need to make sure that they know that there is an opportunity here.
So I'm detecting a bit of emotion there. So why would you regret that? Why would that?
It's because it's one of the things that you spend a lot of time trying to get your foot in the door, and you spend so much trying to think about how you would approach and how you would go about it, but just not letting people know about what you do or how you do it. And that's why I'm so prolific in social media and do a lot of work with traditional media, is that I do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
And I also do it for zero money. I don't do it for the money. I don't do media for the money. But it's more about, because it's what I do.
Yeah.
And I've got to prove what I do. But the greatest regret I would have is if someone didn't know what we did. They said, I've heard of Media Stable, don't know what you do. Or I've heard of Nick Hayes, have no idea what he does.
Yeah.
Mind you, most of my family have no idea what I do. My friends and family have no concept of what I do. They think I just sit there and talk for a living.
I was actually going to ask you that. Would you say your personal values, and I guess Nick, in your personal life, is different to Nick Hayes of Media Stable?
I love how you went from Nick to Nick Hayes. Look, I am my business.
Yeah.
There is no real difference between the two.
Yeah.
I don't actually go out of my way to go professional Nick and laid back Nick.
Yeah.
This is Sunday
Off
night.
duty Nick.
Yeah, off duty Nick. I like long walks along the beach with red wine. No, there's no difference between the two.
Yeah.
It's more just that I put everything into it. I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I've never, in 20 years I've been working, I've never felt one day that I've actually worked a day in my life.
Yeah, wow.
And that feels weird. And
Not many people can say that.
Well, I've worked for some strange companies as well. But the thing is, if I'm not passionate and if I don't love it, I'm not going near it.
Yeah.
So I've always felt that I haven't had to work, and it's always me.
That's awesome. So can I ask, what are some of your core personal values then, Nick?
Trust.
Yeah.
Authentic. Try to be, the best possible person that you can be.
Yeah, cool.
That's all I live by.
Yeah.
I was born, raised a Roman Catholic, left the Catholic Church when you do, and but the thing was the values that brought, and also too the values that just to be a good person.
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome.
There's not a strong sort of religious background or
But
mantra.
it's about doing good and being good.
Yeah, because people will come back. They'll pay you back in spades if you represent and do things well.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. It's pretty easy to make enemies. It's hard work to make good friends and to do it. But the work and effort you put into it, they come back and pay you.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Sales with a conscience, Nick Hayes.
Yeah, there's not a lot of salespeople with a conscience out there. Oh, look, there are a lot of people, but you have to do that today. I think in the past you probably could get away with it, but I think today, if you want ongoing business, if you want to continue on and hold a reputation, then you have to have a conscience.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter who you work for. Your reputation is your name, and that
Yep.
follows you around until forever. If you could do any other job in the world, realistic or unrealistic, what would it be?
Dolphin trainer.
Like actually?
Yeah. So I'd be a dolphin trainer. In fact, there was I was in the army back in the very early days of my life, and you know, when you all got short hair and you go out to a nightclub or something like that, you all look like army. But for us to go out, and we would tell people that we were dolphin trainers at SeaWorld. And I tell you what a starter that was for a conversation.
I bet.
It was awesome. No, look, after everything I've just said, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, right.
I really love what I do.
Cool.
And the fact is, you know, I built a business around my family, my lifestyle, around everything that we do that's important to us. And no, I wouldn't change a thing.
That's pretty special. Thank you, Nick Hayes.
Thanks, Lada Hill.
Well played. One take. Bang.
Beautiful.